So today's topic is security. What is security? How do we define who sees what? Why this is needed? In an organization, there can be different people and different powers, right? Organization usually will a hierarchy, like CEO will be on the top, then you will have VP sales, VP service, then probably you will have execute managers, sales managers. This will have service managers. Under them is you will have sales executives, right? So this would be normally a structure for organization. As you go up the chain, this person might be able to see the data of everybody, but due to security reasons, probably this guy should not see this guy's data, this guy should not see this guy's data. So, individual executives should not see each other's data because probably they are competing with each other. Okay, and then it might be sensitive information, so you need to have very trusted people of the organization only handling those. So the organization needs security so that only trusted people or responsible people are able to make changes to some critical data which needs to happen. By default, how is this kind of security implemented in Salesforce? There are 3 levels of security in Salesforce, and this is defined using 3 concentric circles. Why concentric circle? We'll discuss this. The first level is object level security. Okay. The first level is object level security. The second level is field level security. And third is record level security. So think about this table, any object. First, I need to give access to this table, whether a person can see this table or not. And if he sees the table, what kind of actions can he perform on this table? Can he see data? Can he create data? Can he edit data? Can he delete data on this table? And all these actions are only if the record is owned by you. What is owner? We will discuss. Ownership. If he is the owner of that record, these actions are applicable for him. If he's not a owner, we are not discussing this permission. Okay. So when we are talking about object level security, we are talking about create, read, edit, delete permission of records in that table owned by that person. How do we give these permissions? We give it through profiles or permission sets. Every user will have a profile. Okay. And profile, and you can assign multiple permission sets to individuals. So these permissions can be spread inside profile and permission sets. So think about this is a profile 1 plus permission set 1 plus permission set 2. So all added up permissions will be the permissions of a user. And it can be create, read, edit, delete. That's it on a table. Any questions so far? Why concentric? Yeah,
স্যার বলছি সবারই কি 3টে পারমিশন সেটই থাকবে, না কোনো কোনো প্রোফাইলে হয়তো আমরা যেটা পারমিশন সেট 1ই দিতে পারি বা পারমিশন সেট 1টাই দিতে পারি?
Profile is mandatory for any user. Permission set is optional.
Okay.
A profile, if the permissions are already given in profile, then you do not need permission sets. But if you want to add some more permissions, then you can assign some profiles. Sorry, add some permission sets.
Yes, I can understand.
Okay. Or you can change the profile also. Yeah,
Okay, sir.
modify the profile. We'll see this in detail. But the OLS, if I, the question is, how do I assign object level security? It is profiles and permission sets. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And these permissions are only for records owned by the user. Okay. Not where he's not a owner. Okay. If it is somebody else's record, these permissions are not applicable. Okay. Now, why concentric circle? I will discuss it later. So if you do not have access on this layer, think about chakra view, right? If you cannot cross this first layer, you cannot get into second layer, you cannot cross the third layer, right? Makes no sense. In Mahabharata, the only person who could cross all these was Abhimanyu, right? So it's like the same thing. If you do not have object level security, then field level security and record level security is worthless. Whatever you are assigning is doesn't make any sense. Okay. So now you have assigned OLS. What is field level security? Field level security means individual these columns. What you can see on these columns. What kind of security can be provided on fields? You can say, is this field visible to me? And is this field editable to me? Only two permissions. Read permission and edit permission. If I do not give read permission, automatically edit permission is also taken out. Clear? Similarly, in this CRUD operations, read permission is bare minimum. In order to give create permission, you must have read permission. In order to create edit permission, you must have read permission. In order to give delete permission, you must have read, edit permission both. Okay, that's how it works. Read is the basic operation. Any questions so far? How is field level security assigned? It is again assigned using profiles and permission sets. Same. Any questions so far? So column wise permission is called field level security. So a table has another permission which is called row wise permissions. What is row wise permission? Row wise permissions means what is the permission for the records that is not owned by me. Okay. What is the permission for the record owned by me is already defined in OLS. What is the permission I have on records not owned by me is defined by RLS, that is record level security. Where is this defined? It is defined in OWD, org wide defaults. Every object will have a org wide default setting. What are the possible settings in org wide default? Usually the possible settings is private, public read only, public read write, and for some objects it will be controlled by parent. If you set OWD as private, then only the owner can see their own records. That's it. You cannot see other people's record. Any record which is owned by not by you, you will not be able to see it. The organization has blocked visibility by ownership, and that is why OWD is set to private. That means every object, if it is set to private, then only owner can see their records. That's it. Clear? Any questions? What is public read only? Public read only means I can only see others record, but I cannot edit that. Okay. What is public read write? Public read write means I can see others permission, others record, and I can also edit it. That means no security. It's just like RLS is unsecure, because if you can see others record and you can also modify it, then what kind of security is that? There is no security. Okay. Third is controlled by, fourth is controlled by parent. Usually this is given only to child objects, specific child objects, contact and other child objects. Controlled by parent means please replicate what is set in the parent. What is the parent of contact? Anybody?
Account.
Account.
Account. So if account is private, automatically contact is private. If account is set to public read only, contact is also set to public read only. If account is set to public read write, contact also is set to read write. Control by parent makes your job easier. You don't have to go and manually change all the child objects individually. Control by parent means whatever you're changing on the parent automatically is applicable to the child. Any questions? Every master detail child is controlled by parent. You cannot change it.
Sir, in field level security, can we see other person's field as well? I mean, if we are not the owner.
Ownership is only applicable for record level security.
Okay.
For records, ownership is only for records. Field is not owned by anybody. Either you see the field or you don't see the field. That's it. Okay. Good question. What is profile? Profile is a user type you define or a group of permissions. So every user when you create must be assigned a profile. Profile you can think of like a user type. So what are the different user profiles we already have in Salesforce? Salesforce already provides some default profiles. These are called standard profiles. Standard profiles you cannot modify. Okay. So like standard user, then you have system administrator, then you have many people. We'll see those profiles. What you can do is that you can clone it. Clone means copy this profile, and then you make your own changes on that, on sort of that profile.
কন্ট্রাক্ট ম্যানেজার আছে না স্যার আরেকটা
অনেক আছে, অনেক প্রোফাইল আছে,
কন্ট্রাক্ট মানে মিনিমাম অ্যাক্সেস
হ্যাঁ অনেক আছে। 12-13 profiles are already there. So you can modify this and you can change that profile, or you can name a new profile, create a new profile by copying any of the existing profile. Then you can make changes to that. Then you can assign this profile to any user. Okay, so that is how it works. So now let's jump into Salesforce and let's see everything. What did we discuss so far? Are you able to see my screen? Let's see a profile. So through a profile, what kind of security can we provide? Tell me, what are the three kind of security there are there in Salesforce?
Object level and field
Object
level.
level.
Object level,
Field level
Field level.
security, Record level
Field
security.
Yeah, out of these three, what can be assigned in profiles?
Well,
Object level.
object level.
Hmm?
Object
object
level.
level ফার্স্টে থাকবে,
Object level?
ফার্স্ট হবে।
না সেটা ঠিক আছে। What out of these three, how many can I assign using profiles?
Sir,
Object
contract
and
manager.
2.
object and field level.
Object
Object
level
and field level.
security and field level security. Correct. So let's see how object level security and field level security are assigned in profiles. So you see these are default profiles by Salesforce, and these are all created by me, or custom profiles created. You will see custom as ticked. Custom means it's you are creating this on your own. So we can create a new one. We have usually a standard profile. It's called standard user. So I can clone this. My profile or my test profile. So this is the profile. Okay, I have created. There are two different views of this profile. This is the standard view of the profile. Another view is also possible. You can switch it on if you want. It's called forgot the name. Let's see. Enhanced profile user interface. Enable profile user interface. In the help file, you will find it where to enable it. You can. This is a standard profile. Let's first see the standard profile, then we'll go there. So you will see this is section is page layout. Okay, profile can be assigned using page layout. We saw that, right? Long back. You can assign define page layout to different people. This is standard user permission, right? And this is custom user permission. Down below is the custom object permission. So let's see this permission in detail. Edit. So when you edit a profile, it will look like this, and this is the permission you have. So you see, read, create, edit, delete. So you can take out read, everything is deleted. Now you don't have any permission, but you bring back read. This is the basic permission you can give to any user. In that case, what will happen? If you give read permission, we will have a chart to discuss this. Okay. So read permission means I can only see my records. I cannot create new records. I cannot edit any existing records. I cannot delete any existing record. Clear? Then I can give create permission. Then I can read my existing record. I can create new, but I cannot modify any existing record. Neither I can delete it. If I give edit, in that case, I can see my records, create new records, modify existing records, and I delete, then I can delete my records. Clear? All these permissions are for my owned records. What is owned? If you go to account, every account will have a owner. In Salesforce, every record will have owner. Okay? And this is the person who can do these things based on the profile he is assigned on. Okay? So there can be two different owners. One owner has just read permission. Just he has a profile which gives only read permission. Another owner can have both permissions. So he can create records, but another. So user types, we are defining different kinds of users on the same object who can do different stuff, right? Any questions so far? Okay. Is the, let's enable the, and down below you will, so you can change and give permission field level security, and you can also see the field level security for each object. So this is the field level security. Go to view, and you can edit this individual fields. You see, read access and edit access. If you take the read access, the edit access also goes away. But if you can only give read access, you want to give it, you can. Edit access means you can edit that field value itself. Okay. This is all implementation for records. Please make sure this is not metadata change. Metadata change can only be done by system administrator. Okay. And these profiles are assigned to common users. So here, what we are talking about, editing of fields, is editing of the field values, not the name of the field. Okay. Don't confuse that. Any questions so far? So same things, you can also assign the same permissions using permission sets. Permission sets also, you can, there are some basic permission sets also given. You can create from scratch, or you can also copy from an existing. Okay. Usually we create it from scratch. This view of permission set also can be applied on profiles. If you switch on this enable enhanced profile, enhanced profile is in user management setting. So what you can do, go to setup, whichever is easier for you to use, you can use it. So here, enhanced profile user interface, you can switch it on. If you switch it on, then if you go to profiles, it will show just like you are seeing for permission set. Same. You see this now, it will look like this. Permission set. So right now, if you go to my profile, where is my profile? My test profile. Now my test profile is not one pager. It is all broken up into smaller divisions. It is easier to manage. So you can straight away go to object settings. So now you can see all these permissions here mentioned here. Read, create, edit, delete. Same. It's easier to assign it, easier to use. Same permissions. Read, create, edit, delete. Here you can see both object permission and field permission in the same screen. So this is a little easier to use. So I will always say go with this, and permission set is exactly the same. Permission set uses this view automatically. So if you go to my permissions, it also has the same sections. You see, same. So here also you can go to object settings. You can go to account, and in account you can edit. And you can give access, read, create, edit, delete, and read access or edit access on individual fields and save it. Permission sets is always usually given when you want to create additional permissions for a few users. So the best practices of Salesforce will be always have minimal number of profiles, and profiles are usually categorized by what are these persons are doing in maybe the designation of that person. So you can have separate profiles for different designations, or basically type of users, how they are using the applications, and if some of them need additional permissions, probably you can add a permission set and assign it to the user. Now, how is this assigned to a user? So let's go to the user. When you create a new user, you assign the profile here. Like I created a new profile, so I can assign it here. Okay. So that is very important. So profile is assigned after you assign a user, you create a user, then you can go ahead and assign permission sets. So you can say edit permission sets, and you can assign my permission into this person and save. So now Anish Banerjee also has additional permissions. This permission set has been assigned to him. If there are 4 or 5 permissions you are regularly assigning to different people, you can create a permission set group, and you can assign the whole permission set group into a person. In that case, you don't have to individually select the permissions. Okay. Any questions so far? Now let's see the record level security. For record level security, we have to go to settings, sharing settings. In this sharing settings, you will see this default internal access. This is critical for it. Default external access is for communities, not applicable for you. So you can edit this, and you will see that account and contact has these 3 things: private, public read only, public read write. Contact has controlled by parent by default, but you can change this to individuals also. Usually contact is kept as controlled by parent. So whatever you're setting in account will automatically be applicable for. You will not see master detailed child here, because master detailed child is always controlled by parent, because in master detail object there is no owner at all. There is no owner field. So owner of the parent record is the owner of the child record. Okay. So please remember that. So master detail, you cannot change the org wide settings. So what does it mean? That means usually you can set this to private. Private means only the owner can see his records, nobody else. Public read only means except owner, non-owners can also see records, but they cannot modify. And then this is a public read write, means I can see the record, but I cannot modify. But remember the rule of 3 concentric circles. If your OLS does not give you permission, even if you have higher permission, you will not be able to work on it. So let's derive a formula and see what is the situation. Is owner, this is not non-owner. This is the permission, right, of any table or any object. Now there are 2 settings which we are playing with. One is the profile and one is the OWD. Which object? Maybe account object. Let's play this game with account object. In profile, I have given read permission. OWD is set to private. Tell me, Can owner create record?
only read.
Clear?
Yes, sir.
Even if I am the owner of the record, I cannot create new record. I cannot edit my own record. I cannot delete my own record, because in profile I have only given read permission. What will happen to the non-owner?
স্যার কিছুই হবে না।
Why?
বিকজ ওডব্লিউডি প্রাইভেট আছে, মানে ওনার দ্বারাই হবে শুধু।
হ্যাঁ, non-owner can't even see the record. তো create, read, edit, delete তো প্রশ্নই নেই। Now I give edit permission. What will happen?
স্যার রিড আর এডিট হবে।
What will happen for the non-owner?
সেম।
No changes, right?
ইয়েস স্যার।
Now I give delete permission. What will happen?
ডিলিট হবে শুধু।
Everybody is getting the point? Understanding it? Any confusion? Please ask. This is very, very critical for you to understand.
So with edit permission, owner can't delete.
In edit permission, owner cannot delete. You have to give delete permission then only.
Okay.
Delete is a separate permission. Now you give create permission. Then only the owner can create.
আচ্ছা স্যার, আমার একটা কোয়েশ্চেন আছে। স্যার আমি যদি এডিট করি তাহলে কি সেটা ক্রিয়েট হচ্ছে না?
না, ক্রিয়েট মানে তো নিউ রেকর্ডস, এডিট মানে এক্সিস্টিং রেকর্ডস এর উপরে চেঞ্জ করছে।
ওকে ওকে, হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ।
Now let's make some modifications. Let's make it public read only. What will happen?
তখন নন ওনার শুধু রিড করতে পারবে।
Let's give permissions from scratch. Read. What will happen? Cannot. What will non-owner can do?
শুধু রিড হবে।
Read. Clear for everybody?
Yes, sir.
Now I give edit permission. What will happen?
ওনার নন ওনার শুধু রিড আর এডিট করবে।
Huh?
ওনার রিড আর এডিট হবে।
But non-owner can only read.
So edit
ও সরি,
permission
হ্যাঁ নন ওনার রিডে আছে।
cannot edit, right?
Yeah.
ইয়েস ইয়েস ইয়েস।
Owner can edit. Delete permission. What will happen?
Owner can perform read, edit, and delete.
Owner can delete.
For
Non-owner
non-owner,
cannot
give
delete, right?
same.
Now I give create permission. Owner can create. Non-owner can only
Read.
read. Clear? Now let's give public read write permission. What will happen? Let's start from scratch again. Read permission. What can owner do?
Read only.
Clear? Owner
স্যার
can
রাইট আছে তো, রাইট আছে তো, তাহলে স্যার এটা নন ওনার এডিট হবে না?
ওটাই তো বললাম। ইফ, তাই জন্য তো গোল তিনটে বল এঁকেছি। If your permission is blocked in the outer circle, even if your permission is greater in the inner circle, does not matter.
ও আচ্ছা আচ্ছা ঠিক আছে
Clear?
ইয়েস স্যার ঠিক আছে
Very good question. But that is the problem. Since I do not, I am assuming both of these have the same profile. Okay. And this profile is exactly I am changing. So if it is restricted in the profile, even if the record level security is set to public read write, you cannot edit. Clear? Now let's give edit permission. What will happen?
এইবার হবে
এবার দুজনে এডিট করতে পারবে। Both can edit now. Now I give delete permission. What will happen? This non-owner can only do with some objects, not all. Like case, object, and other object, only owner can delete. Okay. So conditional. Non-owner can delete for some objects. Okay. Create. Create. Clear to everybody? How to remember this whole formula? Very easy solution is there. Profile plus permission sets and OWD. Out of this, whichever is less permission wins. If there is a read permission here, read write permission here, then this is a read permission. If read write permission is here, only read permission is here, then it's a read permission. If both has read write, then only read write. Clear?
Okay.
Very easy to remember. Okay, so now what else? Any questions so far? Tell me.
স্যার লাস্টে ফর্মুলাটা কি করে বললেন একটু বুঝতে পারলাম
কোন ফর্মুলা?
এই যে লাস্টে যেটা বললেন p প্লাস
Profile and permission set, all the permissions of profile and permission set after collecting everything, whatever is your total permission, compare that with the permission you have in OWD. Whatever is the lesser permission will win. I mean, that is applicable. Lesser permission.
আচ্ছা ঠিক আছে
So if it is read write here and read here, then read. If it read write here, then read. If both are read write, then only read write will come here. Okay.
ওকে ওকে
Okay, so now the last part of today's session is how do I bypass OWD? So OWD is set to private or OWD is set to read only. That means I have restricted, only the owner can see. But I need some special privileges for some people so that they can see every record. Like system administrator, right? They have to see everybody's record. Otherwise, they cannot work. So in order to, for some people who want to see every record and bypass OWD, the easiest mechanism is if you go to the profile or permission set, let's go back to our profile. My test profile. In this object settings, think account is set to private or account is set to read only, something of that sort. And I want is new this profile owners or the people with this profile bypass OWD. OWD should not be applicable to them. That means they should be able to see others' record. non-owner. Here in these two permissions comes into picture, view all and modify all. If I tick view all, even if I am not the owner, I can see everybody's record. Does not matter what is set in OWD, I am bypassing it. If I set modify all, then I can see others record and I can also modify it. Does not matter what is there set in the OWD. So I am bypassing OWD. Okay.
Modify means delete also.
Modify means delete also. Right.
Okay, sir.
So view all or modify all, if I have permission, then I can do whatever I can with others people's record. Usually, if you see system administrator, exactly you can do that. If you go to system administrator profile, you will see this guy has been given view all, modify all permission for all objects.
Yeah.
That is the reason why system administrator can work with everybody's data.
But sir, we have given the permission in object level, na. But
Yes.
in field level, we haven't given that permission.
Yes.
Will it be applicable?
No. View all, modified all is applicable only for record. If the field permission has not been given, then that field is not visible.
Didn't understand, sir.
Inner circle. This is OLS, right?
Okay, sir.
So if in the inner circle you are restricting anything, it will be applicable.
Okay, sir.
Field level
So
security, even if you do not, if you have view all permission, but field level security is still applicable to you. So you cannot see a field which is hidden for you.
okay, sir. So for that, I have also give the permission in field level, right?
So yeah, you have to tell system administrator, I cannot see this field. Can you give me permission? Usually, the view all, modify all permission is not given to people except system administrators. Usually, do not do that because this indiscriminately gives permission to everybody. All records of an object will now open up for that person, right? If you give view all permission to any profile, that guy can see everybody's record on that object. But
Yes,
if you
sir.
want conditionally give the permission, you can say that only the US people or the accounts in USA should be visible to all the salespersons of USA. That is conditional. Not all accounts I'm opening up, right?
Yes, sir.
That conditional opening up of record is called sharing. And that's the topic for next class. Any questions today? Otherwise, we will stop the session. No
Okay,
question?
sir. No,
I
sir.
will stop the recording.